Hey guys, this is Snow with my first ever series on this channel, Cities Skylines. This is a really fun game and I'm so excited to play this all for you. Enough babbling, let's just get right into it. Alright, I think we're going to play on the River Run map, and I have no idea what we're going to call this city. Let's just call it Snowtopia for now. And we've got all these fun natural resources, we'll get into that later. Outside connections, we'll get into that later. A little bit of water, but we do have the outside ship connections, which is really nice, and plenty of area for building. We can set the traffic. I'm just going to go with the regular right-handed traffic. Let's get into it. Now, I've played this already, put in a ton of hours into it. I have my own little city. It's 100,000 population, so I picked up a few tips and tricks from there, and I can't wait to share them all with you. I'm not the best, but, and you guys can be laughing at me if you know what you're doing, probably. But, oh, I can't wait. Right, so first thing we need to do with any city is just lay down our first couple of roads, and this is a really cool map because we actually start with 2 outside connections. The city I played on at first didn't have that, so that's going to be really fun to play with. I think we'll do like an industrial complex down there, residential all up here. We got the cool bridge thing we could do. Ah, I can't wait. Alright, enough babbling, let's go. And I'm going to place that road. That's our first bit of road. We've got all these road options that we can choose from. They unlock as soon as you place your first little bit of road here. So I think I'm actually going to upgrade that to one way just right off the bat, because this is an off-ramp, so no sense in having them go on a 2-way there. You guys are going to see, especially down the road, traffic in this game is crazy. There's so much that can go wrong with your traffic and your train tracks, and oh my god, there's so much depth to this game, and it's so much fun. So I'm just going to bring out a little bit of road here. That's going to be our first little residential areas, and I'm actually going to start zoning that in this corner while I set up the rest of my city here. Right, so I think this is going to be a little bit of a residential area down here. Or no, excuse me, not a residential area. That's up there. This is going to be a little industrial complex here. So I'm just going to set this up really quick. And just bring that out all the way here and up here. I'm going to be really careful I'm not spending too much money. See, I've only got 60,000. I'm already losing money. As I start putting in more and more buildings here, I'm going to get lots and lots of problems. So here are our first buildings coming in. Look at this! Oh, this is exciting. Oh, this is it! Here's the building! The Elk Residence! Oh, man. That's exciting. Oh, I can't wait for this all to get filled in. What's really cool about this game, too, is we can name everything. I'm going to call this the first building in Snowtopia. Not Tropia, Topia! And that will stay forever. How cool is that? That is awesome. Right, now we got some problems. These guys are all complaining they don't got any water or electricity. Right, we gotta get them sorted out. Alright, first things first. Let's get some water set up. So there's 2 kinds of... I'm gonna pause this because I'm losing money. So let's pause this really quick so I don't lose too much money as I go through all this. Just a little bit of explaining in this first episode before we get on our way. So there's 2 kinds of water facilities that you need to worry about in your city. You got your water pump, and this is how it's going to pump water into your city through your pipes. And you got your water drain, which is going to expel sewage. And then there's the water tower. I haven't really played around with these. I mean... They're kind of if you've got like a landlocked sort of area and you just want to put water in, like just right over here, then that'll give them water. But I mean, this thing's really noisy. It like costs a lot of unnecessary money. It's silly. It's really silly. It's like half If you look at the pumping capacity, it's half as good as this water pumping station. I don't get this. Maybe someone has a really good use for it. It does look cool. Maybe that's why. But, I mean, I think the water pumping station's just fine. So we're going to bang in one of these right up. You know what? I'm actually going to put it on this side. Just throw it in right there. Done. Now then, we'll also need a water drain pipe, which is going to spill out all of our sewage so that one of our citizens go poop, they can go throw it out and dump it into our beautiful river. So what's really important is this thing is going to expel a ton of sewage, and you'll see it. It's going to completely pollute this river until I can do something about that. Once I get the water treatment plant, that'll help with that a lot, but for now, it's just going to spew toxic waste down the river. So I got to make sure I place this a little downstream as much as I can. So I'll just throw that down there. What would happen if I placed it up here is it would spew out a whole bunch of sewage and waste and go straight back into the water pipes. So then everyone would be drinking toxic sewage, and that's not good. Right. So now I just need to hook these up. There we go. Right, so that's all good. And then I just need to bring that up to my city here. Now, what you can do is a little tip. I do have some tips to give. I'm not a complete noob. We can throw in a water pipe right here. What is this? What's going on? Water pipe. You throw in a pipe, like right up in the top corner of your map. You kind of want to get it so that the circle just hits the edge of your map. You can go down to 480, and come right back up a bit to 440. And then what that'll do is that'll give you perfect coverage of your water. Look at that. Now if you see, each of these pipes has a little blue, like, aura that's going out. And what that is that is the effective range of your water. So every building within that blue ring is going to be getting water by these pipes. So if you go through your whole city with that whole 440 trick, then you can lay out a really, really effective water grid throughout your entire city. Now, that's really boring and it takes a long time, and you know, money's not really that big of an issue later on. It is now, and we're going to have to be really careful what we're doing now, but in the interest of time and not boring all you guys, I think I'm just going to go run some water up right like that and just call it good. But that is a good tip if you got like a small area of land and you're worried about your money, because these pipes, they do cost a lot of money. Look at that. 20, I think the currency is called simoleons in this game. That's with a C, not with an S. That, it all adds up. So, right. Water is good. But the problem is, these guys both need electricity. So how do we do that? Well, we go to our electricity tab. Now we got two kinds of electricity options at the start. We got our wind turbine, we got our coal power plant. The wind turbine, if you look at its power output, says 0 to 8 megawatts. So what that means is, depending on the wind conditions, which we can kind of see out here, it's going to affect how much power I can generate with the wind turbine. So in one of these darker areas, for example, look at that. That's 8 megawatts if I place that right there. But if I come over like over here, that's only 3 megawatts. So these are a really variable kind of power source. You got to kind of place it on these dark blue areas for you to get any effectiveness out of them. And that's kind of a good idea. I think down the road we're going to go into like some solar panels and some nuclear power plants and things like that. Maybe do a nice hydroelectric dam over. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. So for now, I think we're going to go with a coal power plant. I've never really played with one of these before. The reason for that is it's really expensive. It generates way more power than we're going to need early game, but it's going to keep us going for a long time. It's really noisy though, and if you look at this little infograph, 50 noise pollution is a lot. Like a train station is 100 noise pollution, so this thing is huge pollution. And it also generates real actual ground pollution as well, so we got to keep that far away from our city. we're going to keep it over here in this industrial zone because it's not going to care about pollution anyways. So we'll just kind of throw this guy over here on this little tip. Now if you notice, right when I placed that, it created this whole, this ring of electricity here. And so that's a really cool feature. I don't have to hook up each building individually with these power lines here. I only have to connect the rings. So if I bring that all the way out over here to the water drainage pipe, and I just have to get it in its little ring, that's good. And same thing, from the water drainage pipe right over to the water pump, that's good. Then, these guys are going to need electricity, right? So now if I just bring this all the way over here, boom, that should be connected. All right, let's see if it worked. Let's crank it on. Hopefully this will all turn white, and that'll mean it's connected. Let's see. Oh, or it's blue, actually. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's all working. Right. So let me pause it again, because now I'm losing crazy amounts of money with all that in. There's a few more things that we can look at. Down here, this is our demand. So right now you can see we have a very high demand for residential. That's always going to be the case when you start the game, because people want to move in. We got this brand new spanking new city here. Everyone wants to get in a piece of this. And we've got a little bit of demand for commercial and nothing for industry yet, but that'll come. Now what that's referring to is these zones, and I did zone in that first little bit without really explaining it. We've got these three main zones here. And then also once we get to like 8,000 population there, we're going to be able to expand those and do high density or offices. And that'll give us some more options that we can play with, start really building the cityscape. Oh, that's going to be fun. But for now, we're losing $464 per week. And that is almost all because of this coal power plant. This thing costs 500 simoleons a week to run. And it is giving us 40 megawatts. Now, this is called our info views tab. This is really helpful. We're going to be looking at this a lot. And right now we can look at the electricity. Right now we have 40 megawatts. We're not using any, but I mean, in a minute here, we're going to start using probably like 3 or 4 megawatts. That's way more power than we need, and that's just going to completely eat our budget. So I'm actually going to go into this economy tab. And this is really cool. I can micromanage every single part of this budget. You see, right now, it says I'm spending 207, but once I hit play, that's going to crank way up. So I'm actually going to completely run this down. And so what that says is, it says power production facilities will hire more people and thus produce more electricity with a higher budget. So if I lower the budget, that means I'm going to produce less electricity. Which, I mean, with the amount of electricity I'm producing, that's not a big deal. And so that's just something I'm going to have to remember and keep an eye on. And once I hit a certain point, I'm going to need to crank that back up to 100. But for now, I just that'll be definitely help us out, get started. Water, I'm going to leave alone. For the most part, I would not recommend playing with this economy window unless you really know what you're doing, because you can really screw yourself up if you start messing with these and micromanaging them. And it's not something you want to do. Right, so let's just crank this back up. Sorry for pausing so much. And it looks like we need to zone in some more residential. I'm kind of going to zone it in here in sections. And what that's going to do is, remember that electricity grid I was telling you about earlier? Every time one of these new buildings grows in, it's expanding our electrical grid. And so that way, it's going to actually carry the electrical current with it. Oh, look at that. I'm losing $1,000. Well, hopefully we can get some more citizens in and start paying some bills. Let's get some more roads in here so they're good. Let's keep zoning this in. We've got some commercial demand. I think I'm going to start some commercial right here. And I'm almost definitely going to move this later, because this commercial is going to cause a lot of noise, which is going to be an issue. I'm going to have to expand all my water pipes. Oh man, I need to slow this down. Let's maybe play at 2-speed. There we go. And like I said, I'm just doing really lazy piping here. Lots of commercial. Wow! Let's get all that filled in. Get some more residential filled in. And look here, we got our first little bit of industrial demand. So let's maybe crank some of that in here. And I wonder if they're going to complain that they can't get to work. I don't really have money to run a road right now, so hopefully they don't. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But we should be alright. Let's just fill in some more of this here. And some more residential even. Now, see, this electrical grid is still just expanding out, expanding out. It's perfect. Now, see, we were at -18. We're already at -250, 220. So as these buildings are cranking in, they're starting to... Oh, y'all don't have water, do you? There's so much to do in this game. It's so easy to forget something. There we go. And you guys all have electricity because you're right next to that the coal plant, so you're getting plenty of electricity. You just needed some water. There we go. So let's pop in a few more of you guys. A little bit more. There's so many fun tools you can use. There's this fill tool, which fills in a whole big chunk. There's this marquee tool. This is really nice, especially later on. You can go select your whole area. So if you create like a whole thing, you can just fill the whole thing in. There's the small brush tool, which if you just need like 1, 2 squares, you can really pinpoint it. This is the tool I've been using, this large brush. I really like this. I think this makes it really easy to kind of just select the area that you want and fill that in. Right, so let's build a little bit more road out here. Now, ultimately, I think we're going to build all the way across here and have this nice, big, sprawling city out here over the water, over the bridges. We're going to have like a nice bunch of houses all along each shore. And I think we're going to have this highway eventually going all the way through the city. That will be cool. All right. Oh, I can't wait. This is just going to be so much fun, guys. All right. Let's get these last few. I think I'm just going to fill up the rest of this street here. Let's speed it up a bit. And look, we are already in the green. Look at that. Still got some demand for residential. I'm just going to keep putting this in as they keep growing so that I maintain this electrical grid. That's really important. We don't want angry citizens here. There we go. Oh, y'all don't have water. Let's hook this up and bring that down there. You do have to hook up the pipes, otherwise they're not going to have water in them. So that is something to keep in mind. And there we go! Reach a population of 460. We are a little hamlet. That gives us all these fun new things to do. Got an elementary school, a medical clinic, a landfill site, taxes, loans, garbage, all this kind of fun stuff. That is exciting. Alright, well I think we're going to take a look at all of that in our next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is going to be a fun ride.